apply the bleach mixture to the closure, I use a patting motion. To me, this is a lot better than spreading it. Because you're going to lightly pat it on, it's going to prevent, or at least help to prevent, any of the bleach mixture from seeping through the closure. So when doing this, just use a very light patting motion, and I do start at the beginning or the front of the closure just because the knots there seem to be a little bit more stubborn and take longer to bleach. Now I'm just gonna take a look to make sure that none of the bleach mixture seeped through onto the roots of the hair. So I just take it and pull the hair straight up to check for any seepage. Instead of having the hair lay down flat against the closure, it just seems to work out a lot better just to have the hair standing up. And as you can see, there's no bleach seeping through onto the roots. And now it's time to rinse the bleach from the closure, and doing this I use a neutralizing shampoo just to stop the bleaching process. As you can see here, there are no black dots, which means that the knots have been successfully bleached. First, what we're going to have to do is remove the material or the cap from underneath the closure. Now this is a wig that I just did, and I bought the closure for this particular wig. So in another video I show making the wig with BK Unique hair. Looking at this right now, you can see right there is where all the stitching is. So you have to make sure you do not cut past that. If you do, your wig's gonna fall apart at the top. So now I'm going to attach the elastic band. And basically the elastic band method, as everyone may know, just allows you to attach the wig to your head without having to glue the wig down. It's actually a really convenient way of having your wig attached. So now that the band is on, we're just going to cut off the excess lace that's at the front. The next step is to hide or conceal the grids that will always remain in a lace closure after you bleach the knots. These grids are very unsightly, and you can do an amazing job at bleaching knots, but if you can see the grids, it defeats the purpose. So with the dedicated part closure, all you're going to do is take your brush with some concealer and lightly apply the concealer over the areas that you want your part to be. So you're just going to put it all over those. If you made more than one line or one part, you can do that as well, but I'm just going to do one for this video. You're going to want to slightly push or lightly push the concealer into the lace, but not too hard, because you don't want concealer all over the front. You just do that until you just get something like this. So on the left hand side, you'll see that I'm adding the serum on top of the concealer, and on the right hand side there is no concealer, so I'm adding the serum first and then I'm going to add my concealer after. The end result is exactly the same. The one on the right, I just know what I'm doing, so this is just how I do it now, but I recommend you going with the one on the left, which is to apply the concealer first and then apply your serum. So on the right, you'll see that I work in sections. I don't just take the serum and apply it all over the entire closure. I'm working in sections, it's just easier to control. And a big tip here is if you're going to add 2 layers or even just on this one layer, don't apply the serum all the way to the very, very edge of the lace. If you leave a tiny smidgen of lace without the serum, it's going to be a lot easier to blend out your hairline. Because the serum hardens and it's going to make it's going to make the lace a little bit thicker at the edge and hard, it's going to be more difficult to blend. I hope you understand what I mean. Now, if in the process you happen to get some hairs in the serum, as you can see here on the left hand side, all you have to do is just take a toothpick, or in this case what I'm using is a tail comb, and just lift the hairs out of the serum before it dries. So with the parted closure, this is what it looks like when you turn it over. It's going to dry matte. So just make sure that you don't have any serum on the hairs. If you did happen to get some of the serum onto the hairs on this side, just take your tail comb or a toothpick, something really pointy, and just move the hairs and just try and wipe the serum off. What will happen here is that the serum will have filled in the grids. So I'm just going to continue to clean it up a little bit. You may have 1 grid or 2 grids that are not filled in. Don't worry about it. You can always do a second layer. And here's the one that doesn't have a part, the one that I just put the serum all over the entire closure. So you can part it anywhere. Anywhere you move the hair, you're gonna have the fake scalp. It does wash off. This is not permanent, so if you happen to mess it up, you don't have to unstitch it and take apart your wig or anything like that. All you have to do is shampoo it. This does last through maybe about 3 or 4 washes before I may have to touch it up again, but for the most part, I don't really get too much shampoo and or water on it.
is what it looks like in the daylight. I wanted to make sure to get this because it's very easy to say that something is blending nice when the lighting is very flattering, but when you have light like this, you cannot hide anything. And as you can see, it really does work to blend the closure with your hairline. It's ridiculous. I have fooled many people with this method.
So I really hope that this method will help you guys out there to make your lace closures as realistic looking as possible. If you have any questions, leave them below, and if you need something explained further or more clearly, just let me know. Thanks again. Mwah.